The dilemmas of a junk journal. Do I throw it or do I make something from it? Oh, yeah, okay. I can see. Right, back inside it goes. Hi, lovelies. It's been a minute. It's been a lot going on my end. My daughter-in-law had to go into hospital, and then my husband had to have emergency heart surgery. So it's been a rough few weeks, but here I am, I'm back. And I want to share a project with you that I've made out of tissue boxes. Now, this was so interesting, and I had the idea for quite a while because I had to actually collect the tissue boxes. What I made this week is a tunnel journal, and it's more a tunnel journal cover, but yeah, I just loved making it. So I'm thinking maybe you might want to make one for yourself.
Hey baby, I'm looking for some tissues. Do you know what there is any I can find?
No, I don't know where there's any tissues.
My bowl's got plenty.
All right, come on, let's have a look at the video. First thing we want to do, of course, is to disassemble the tissue boxes so that they're flat. So you need to pull them apart. And the main thing that you want to keep is decide which way up you want it, and then keep this side bit intact, because you're going to need that to be able to put it together with the others. Can you see how some boxes are wide here and some are narrow? So one of the narrow ones is one of the ones that we're going to keep. That's going to become the spine. But I'll explain all that as we go along. So don't worry about them being different sizes. It's just this part that we're interested in. Next step, you want to take all the plastic out of the holes here where the tissues come out of. So now you want to go take all of those out. That's the next step. Now, remember I said that one of the thinner boxes will become like the cover and the spine. So keep one of those with, you know, the three sides, and you just need to chop off the rest. The rest you only want to keep this part and this part. You can chop off this flap, that flap, and all of that, but I'll show you in a minute when I get to it. So keep this. This is the cover. This one is the cover, so I'm only chopping off these bits along here. Out of all of those boxes and all of that cardboard, you just end up with these. Alright, now the magical thing is if you turn them over, you start to see, line them up, you can line them all up on that line, like that. You start to see this magical sort of tunnel effect. If you turn it over this side, you kind of get distracted by all the designs and stuff on the tissue boxes. So turn it over and work from it on this side. And look at that. You're just getting this awesome sort of tunnel look through here. And that will be the cover of your journal. All right. So what you want to do is now measure all of these, because remember this is going to be the cover. So it's going to go round the back. That's going to be the spine. All right. So this is going to be the spine here. That bit there. We'll cover all of this as well. So don't worry about the writing and stuff. But all of these spines need to be just slightly smaller than this one so that they can all fit into the spine in the inside. So you've got to cut all of these down, especially like these big ones here that have got these great big spines. They've got to be the same size or smaller, just a bit smaller actually to fit in than that spine. You can see that spine's way too big. Alright, so I'm going to go cut all those down. Then there'll be even less cardboard here the next time you see it. You end up with something like that. There's the spine and the back. Doesn't matter if it's shorter. And then they all fit into there. Now just keep in mind, the more tissue boxes you add, you might have to cut them down here so that they fit, because obviously this is forcing them all forward. So they won't be exactly this width here. Yeah, so we've got that. All right, now the next step is to do all your decorating before you put it together. So you're going to want to decorate all of these. I mean, they look pretty cool as cardboard, but obviously you can make them better. And obviously you want to get rid of that on the back because it looks a bit naff. And you want to make yourself a signature that is going to go into your journal. And there's my simple signature. It's all recycled old bits of ephemera. Okay, and it's quite thick. And the reason that I've chosen this card for the front is because when our tunnel cover, I just grab it again, comes here, you've got to have a focal point that goes through. So I'm going to show you how I do this in a minute, because it's not just as simple as just folding those around. All right, but you need, on the front of your signature, you need something that is your focal point. The next step, may I suggest that you have a bit of paper, because you're going to get in a bit of a mess for the next step. You're going to paint and decorate these cover parts. Now, keeping in mind your focal point, so you want to sort of pick colours that are going to go with this focal point, because when you're looking through the covers, you want to be able to see this. You're getting closer and closer, but you don't want sort of bright pink on here or something that's not going to look any good with that behind it. So choose your colours for your paint, and we're going to paint up this side of our covers, and then we're going to turn it over and do this side. Picked out some colours. I've got Raw Sienna from Liquitex. Raw Sienna. I've got Neutral Grey from Liquitex. I've got Carbon Black from Jo Sonja. Rich Gold from Jo Sonja. I quite like this one. It actually comes out a gold colour. Yellow Oxide from Jo Sonja. And Burnt Umber from Jo Sonja. So they're all sort of the colours that I want to use on these covers. Now, I'm not going to be too precious. I haven't got a design in mind. I just want to cover over what's already on there and get some colour into the covers so that I can see what I want to do next. So remember, I just work intuitively. I'm not thinking too far ahead. I'm just going to have some fun now and paint these tissue box covers.
Straight cruising, headed for a bruising, watching out for number one. You gotta slow down, look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness looks big. Where you're going, truth cannot be hid. You gotta get going. can be deserving of the
Okay, that's the cover, and it's dried, and I'm happy with how that looks. Right, the same deal. Turn them over, get some paint, and start having some fun. So let's just clean my brush. But the black seems to be working. All right, let's just try grey. Yeah, I think I can still see the writing. Can you see that through there? Which I obviously don't want. So what I might do is do all black. I use up this now. But use a coat of black first. Dry them out. And then I'll come back and do some other colours over the top. This made me laugh. This is the very last piece I did on the inside. And look at the song name, Art Thou Weary. I was sure weary of painting all of these black. And that's how they turned out. So that's the cover. Looks pretty cool. And then you'll remember that I don't have to do this because it's going to be folded in and glued down. But I've done the other side, and the same with that. Something will be on top of that. So that's how they turned out. Right, so now assembling it. Let's have a look. So it's going to go in there like that. And whilst that looks okay, like that, I'm thinking that if I staggered these, then that will look even better. So this one's the same shape as that, but the other way round. So I'm thinking if you slightly stagger them, you start to get the tunnel effect there. And the same with these. So move them up and down. It won't matter on the inside because that's all going to be glued together. Can you see how you're starting to get the tunnel effect going through here with all the different ones? Pull this one down. So again, you're getting another layer here. It just looks really effective. And maybe this one up this way. So the hole gets smaller. You're going through a tunnel, of course. Remember, this one's a different shape. Might put that at the back and sort of center that. And then if we have a look at our little angel that's going in, I'm going to have to center her as well. Can you see the effect of going through the tunnel? Alright, so you need to work out where you want your tissue boxes to go. So if I'm going to stagger mine, I'm going to have to cut some off and stagger it and all that sort of stuff. And then maybe on the inside here, cover the back so that it doesn't look so plain here. But that's okay. I'm going to get on and do that now, and then I'm going to show you how it ends up for the cover. But that's what I would do, is sort of stagger them, each of them, so that you're getting more of a tunnel look as it goes through. I really like that. I think that looks really cool. I'll just bring you in a bit closer. The first one, I stuck just this side of that crease so that the cover will still fold properly. So just keep that in mind. And then all the others you can tuck in behind here, like this one. And we'll do that bit last, all right, the spine. But yeah, just the first one, just tuck in just behind the crease of the cover so that it closes properly. All right, and that's just a little tip I wanted to just add. Now remember, I've got this little thin one that I was going to use right at the back, but when I do it, I sort of don't like the effect. I think it closes it up just a little too much. Not if the image was smaller, but my image that I've chosen is sort of quite big, and I still want to be able to see her face through there. So if I take that last one out and put this in here, that's the effect that I'm after. So always don't worry if you've got to change what you thought you were going to do right at the last minute, because that's what I'm doing here. So having said that, I've got all that I need. So now I need to stick these bits down, right, but make sure that my cover still opens and closes freely. So I don't want to block this line here. So to do this, I want to fold this up like this. Grab something heavy, put it at the back so that it holds it upright like this. And then you can work on these bits here, sticking each one down. Now you know I've been using super glue because this art glitter glue that I normally use for everything just isn't strong enough with the paint. Alright, so I'm going to get now and start sticking these down, and then I'll start cutting off so that my cover is level. So they're stuck down now. Now remember, all art has an ugly phase. This is ugly phase. Got to cut these off so it's level. Trim slightly here. You can see it just comes over the edge where I've moved the covers around. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that overall. So that's good. But inside here is a little bit ugly. But I'm just sticking down brown paper over the imperfections of the spine. And then I'm going to paint it. I'll show you what I mean, just so you can't see all the different spine bits and where they land. And then sort of tuck them in and keep building that up. And crinkle it or do whatever you like. And just keep adding so that you get, when you undo it, you won't be able to see where the different bits of the spine land. What I've decided to do is also build up the inside of the front cover with a bit of brown paper. I'm just screwing it up first, and then I just want to build up. When I open it up, that will have a bit of texture inside. I'm going to paint it all. But yeah, just so you can see what I'm doing.
Once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain, bringing life back. We can breathe again when dealing with the pain.
I wanted the spine to look like the crown of thorns. And you'll see the cover. All from tissue boxes. Look at the depth. It's really quite thick. And the back. And the rest, I'm just going to do the flip through in silence, okay? Enjoy. Interesting. Are we all puppets in a game? Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you all soon. And please remember, be kind always. Bye.